Well, I at times had called people fellow zombies because I knew they were emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived. Not this greeting here. Hello, my fellow Americans. It is 3:56 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're hearing CNN in the background. The breaking news they have at this hour on August 1st, 2023 is Trump has been indicted in the January 6th probe, appears before Judge Thursday. Four indictments on the guy, three conspiracies, one obstruction. A lot of the media pundits are going crazy over this. The Trumplicans and the right wing media and everybody else is having a conspiracy fit on this one. Well, we haven't heard, but we will hear, is the Trumplicans in Congress are going to be banding together. They're going to be gathering with each other at this point. At this point, they're going to be circling the wagon as it's burning down. They're going to be circling around a pile of ashes at this point. Now, granted, an indictment is just saying we're charging you, but we haven't officially charged you. But we have these accounts against you because you were a bad boy, and this was concerning about a grand jury. It was handed to a judge, a district court judge, to unseal it, and then they announced it and released it. So Thursday, old Trump and his lawyers got to go back up to Washington D.C. if they've got enough money for this. You know, their private airplane cost a hell of a lot. And maybe they can do it another way, probably video, but it ain't going to work. They're going to get him in Washington, D.C. For a long while since they had announced that people are coming after Trump because of his conspiracy situations, because of his election fraud, and getting a lot of people involved. They kept saying that the far left was doing a major conspiracy against them, against America, and they stand before America. Yeah, Trump just kept saying that. And he still wanted to be in power. He wanted to throw out the Constitution. He wanted to make things his way. He thinks he's president. He's got all the damn power, and he kept forgetting about the 240 some odd years of precedent there, where you don't do this kind of stuff to the American people. You don't do this to to the American government. Yet a lot of people had a lot of faith in this guy. They treated him beyond a cult figure, beyond a David Koresh or even Jim Jones. They had absolute faith in a con man. Even they had a problem when their co-conspirators were involved with the January 6th riot and invasion of the Capitol, and resulting in injuries and death, and desecration of the Capitol and the building and inside, trying to interfere with an election process that was already legal, but claimed it wasn't because there was a lot of fraud that could never be proven in any court of law. But it seems like they wanted to look above the law because they thought they were the law. Law of the mob. Law of the Trump. They thought he was above the law. It was basically the grandiose thinking every time there was been a, you know, I hate to use the term, but the Dons who run organized crime think they're above the law. And every time they get being charged, they made a fuss about it and argued about it and yelled about it like Trump. It's just like a mob boss. And Congress is doing the same damn stuff, following suit on this. So now we got to deal with this, don't we? We got to deal with a lunatic in office who's hell bent. I mean, not currently in office right now. Biden's still in office, and he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But everybody else who followed old Gasbag in office, they had absolute faith because he told them things that they wanted to hear. The thing about a con artist, a Schindler, a shyster, no, that's a disreputable lawyer, isn't it? Chisler, nice old quaint terms. The thief, liar, con artist. Get in order to get your affection, in order to get your money, get your loyalty. He's got to say things to get you motivated and riled and pissed off enough. And after that, if you're totally loyal to him, then he feels comfortable behind that shield. Without the shield, he's just a weak old man, or just a weak person of any sort. Outside the federal court building, I noticed a couple hours ago we had the people screaming and yelling their heads off. One guy was dressed up as a king and denigrating and bad mouthing everybody over there. Trumplicant. You'll notice the lighting is a little bit darker right now because I'm still trying to save power but using two computers at the same time. That's proven useless, but I just don't want to use up enough power as it is. There are co-conspirators also charged, but they haven't quite named them yet. They have an idea who it is, but they're not going to let the general public know about it until maybe after Thursday, and we'll see what happens during that time. Today's only Tuesday, so it means we've got a couple of days left. So now everyone else is going to be going blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, if we're going to be going beyond the politics at this point over here, how about a nice little brush fire about 80,000 acres? 80,000 acres between California and Nevada. 23% contained, according to the Cal Fire. Brush fire. No homes, just open range. That's a lot of people coming from Nevada and California to put this damn thing out. Probably going to be calling from Arizona if they don't have anything. But that's a lot of acreage just to knock down. Despite the fact that we've got fires happening up in Canada and it's still continuing and still chewing up. We don't know if that one's out of control, if that one's contained or not. So we got to deal with that one. I looked outside this afternoon. I mean, all day long we had a moisture coming through, but maybe in different portions of desert regions, they'll have the thunderstorms. Well, at least hearing that the president has been done again in the court systems, and we're waiting for Fulton County, Georgia, to make their own move regarding the states. Now, who's to think concerning about the federal charges? The president a sitting president can actually pardon people who actually have been charged by the federal government. But they cannot pardon people who have been charged by the state unless it's the governors themselves that could do that. And if the governors are not willing to do that, well, you're screwed. And what has happened is that January 6th was a federal invasion. It was a federal crime. Major crimes. It's one thing to demonstrate outside the area, but to storm in the process, storm the Capitol, enter the building, injure law enforcement officers that people supposedly supported, caused injury and harm to people. It's one thing going outside and demonstrating, but coming inside while they're counting ballots to interfere with election. Now we're talking about invasion here. We have videos all over the damn place. We have videos everywhere regarding how this whole thing started. And Trump was just egging the people on to go. He's going to go join them, but he went back to the White House to sit on his fat ass and watch the whole thing and just laugh his ass off. That's how the con men work. They get others to do their dirty work. He sits and controls the whole damn shit and well, maybe I'll just call them off. I'll just call them off. Maybe. Might as well do it. Guys, play nicely, please. We don't need all this violence. Go home, go home. You did me proud. We got this bastard on tape. We got this bastard on video. We had a January 6th commission in House of Representatives who were talking about the orange gas bag doing this shit. We have records. We have the commission reports. It's public knowledge. It's public domain. It was all public. The videos are out there, even on YouTube. There's nothing there is nothing hidden. But people saying it didn't happen. I did a video concerning about a certain right-winger nut job anchor or correspondent going out in the field, and he's laughing with people who are making a joke about killing people. He says he couldn't hear it when he was making his own broadcast inside the rally hall this past Saturday in Erie, Pennsylvania. He lied to the public. He lied to everybody, but he was on record, and that's being used all over the damn place. This cancer is all spread out throughout the country. I don't know what the hell we can do to heal from this shit. Any day now, I keep expecting Donald Trump to feel the absolute pressure and turn himself into a martyr one way or another. I'm expecting to hear that on the news. Him going into the prison cell would have congressmen from the Trumplicans side who would bar it. You can't do that. It's illegal. Show me. It's illegal. Where's the law? Give us a minute. Ain't gonna pass. You can't do this. Why not? Watch us. And we will see if there's going to be a civil war. And we'll have to remind those elected officials that they are elected officials. They're not there for a lifetime. They're afraid of a lot of things. A lot of right wingers being labeled as being afraid of the truth and of the reality check. And by the left wingers are feeling smug about it. And not to mention the progressives are still feeling this as well. Even the local news is still taking a shine on this one. All the local channels out here in Los Angeles and California up and down the state. Not to mention everywhere else. How do I feel about it? I got caught off guard when I was going over to college, taking political science 101, and I'm talking with the students about it. We couldn't talk to the teacher because the teacher did not want to give any political viewpoints. He wanted us to form our own viewpoints off the information that we have presented and researched. And a lot of us didn't think that Trump was going to get in office. We laughed about it. Hell of a laugh. And then we see the results of it. It's like a pus with cancerous growth. Popped. and it's spread all over, affecting anything and everything. Instead of cancer, how about gangrene? That's even worse. Turning things gangrene because of infection, severe infection going overboard. That we don't have enough antibacterial or antiviral medication to really stop it. It seems like our country turned into gangrene. Can't get rid of it. I don't know how the hell we're going to be able to excise it. We can put Trump in a prison if it comes down to that. When the trial kicks and indicts him and throws him into prison. Will he be able to deal with it? Or does he want to deal with stuck at Mar-a-Lago dealing with his prison time playing golf all the fucking time? No, because they'll be wanting something else. They'll be wanting to put Trump into a jumpsuit and behind bars. He kept urging people, innocent people locked up, and wanted to feel the power and wanted to feel the ego rush. There was about 4 or 5 black youths or teenagers, I think, in Central Park blamed on a murder, and they weren't even there, but because of convenience they were. It took them decades to get the whole thing, you know, the whole stereotype out. But they had to live with a stigma for decades because of one asshole who kept really putting into screws these 5 innocent people. He kept telling them, lock him up, lock him up, lock him up. Urging other people to lock him up. Now, I'm not too heavy on the case. I'm not up on the case notes or anything else like that. It just popped in the head on this one as a reminder. But Trump was an instigator of a lot of things, including how to turn the public against him. Even the same thing when then President Obama running, actually it was then Senator Obama running for office. He may have had genetic lineage that was in Kenya, but he was actually born in the state of Hawaii. They did birth certificates differently, they still do. But because he couldn't show a standardized birth certificate and showed what the state of Hawaii had concerning about his birth and his family, because of his name, they thought he was corrupt. They thought he was an alien, illegal. They wanted him locked up. They call it the birther. Trump started that shit. Hillary Clinton with the 30,000 pieces of email that people freaked out about. And during a time when Benghazi had the U.S. Embassy attacked and 4 Marines were killed. And at this point, well, that's still being continued, isn't it? Give me a second. Got a little warm in here. Air conditioning's still kicking in, and I'm afraid to see the Edison bill when it comes in next month. Well, actually, this month. Next couple of weeks. Can't believe it costs about a lot of money just to get a couple of hamburgers and fries. I suppose being a multi-millionaire who can't even afford his damn legal fees, has to beg, borrow, and steal from everybody else. He's got to do that. Now he's got to cancel everybody else. The Benghazi thing was a real blow right there. And the Republican Party wanted something to damage the Democratic Party real damn bad during election season. Why not put Hillary Clinton, who was going to be running, through the grill? So for a full day, without a bathroom break for her, she took the questions. She answered every one of them, and they didn't like it. And then, in the end, the special committee who was trying to grill her ass couldn't find anything wrong except maybe to bruise her own damn egos, but hurt her political career. That was the thing. Damage her a great deal because that was the thing. Just embarrassed the living crap out of her. And it made it a difference when it came down for Trump being in office instead of Hillary Clinton. Even back then, the Trumplicans were growing and mutating. Apparently, a criminal boss was at work. Opinion. So that's what we're dealing with. Criminal boss. And doesn't care. He'll throw everybody else under the bus just to protect his own ass because that's how they work. Oh, be loyal to me. However, I am going to throw you under the bus just to prove loyalty. And if you don't like it, I don't care. I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. Deal with it. Ha ha. And then all hell breaks loose. There was other things I could mention about this. A lot of more. People say it's all fake news, all fake news, everything's fake news. No, they're just being the three monkeys all the time. Even social media is turning out to be the fake news these days. I came across one particular progressive media guy theoretically. He was cavorting with another group that was sponsored by RT.com, which was known to be Russian. I did a media search on that one. And whatever this guy was getting into, I didn't want to hear it. And I was hearing that there was more conspiracies coming out of his partner he was doing. And it's like, okay, this is really what I need to hear. I decided to unsubscribe him on YouTube. Disrecommended his channel because I didn't want to deal with that. Having that negativity telling everyone else that, their truth is the ultimate truth and people listening to the corporate media is being blindsided by them. Well, maybe they are blindsided by them. But if it's with the local information I can get, and national is all bullshit anyway, so what the hell? I'm a storyteller. I'll listen to a good story. If there's an element of truth, I'll listen to it. But if there's no element of truth, then let it be. And if we got congressional people making themselves look like jackasses for the public on public media, then let them do so. Now, whether or not they're going to be convincing me or not, I'm not. Not as much. Not unless I know the truth. Not unless I hear it. I got to know it. I got to feel it. I got to understand it. But if somebody's going to be telling me the sky is falling because it's this guy's fault or it's the Republicans' fault or it's the Democrats' fault because the sky is falling, I'll be asking them, what are you talking about? The sky is falling. Dude, we live on the surface of an orbital rock that recycles and tries to regenerate itself on a constant basis. It's been doing this damn thing for billions of years since its formation. we had induction, we had an introduction, we had water introduced into our biosphere billions of years ago. We had plant life growing on our planet. They made our viability in this planet to this point. We're constantly surrounded by this gas that we breathe in and out. I look in the sky. I see refraction of light because of the gases refracting the sunlight, which is also chemical and nuclear reactions of gases held together by forms of physics I don't understand just yet, emitting energy, warming the Earth and the solar system for billions of years, billion of Earth years. So I'm going to hear somebody telling me that the sky is falling. What's falling? The sky! I just gave you a complete rational explanation goes over your head. What is dropping on your damn skull that's giving you indentations? Or possibly concaving it a little bit? Cracking your skull a little bit to maybe allow some brain bleed out? You're going to tell me that the sky is falling? How is the sky falling? So I don't know. I don't know. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're all just nuts. They'll believe what they want to believe. I'll trust who and what I trust. Let's call it that. Trump is going to get his ass reamed one way or another. Maybe half the population of America believes in the son of a bitch. I don't. I'm among a lot of them who've seen the result of his actions. His constant bankruptcies before he got into office, losing properties left and right, doesn't pay his bills, uses people up left and right. He's the ultimate consumer. And he doesn't give a shit. He lives on the grift, taught by his father and grandfather. And now his kids do it. So basically, the whole lineage is grifters. Observations. Because it's happening. They haven't added anything positive to the nature of their line to anybody. What did they do? Their lineage king currently is about to be dethroned. Now, either he gets dethroned in juries or federal courts somewhere. He gets buried alive in legal fees. He gets to wear jumpsuits. And he doesn't play golf anymore. The other thing turns himself into a martyr. And I think he's too chicken for that one. I wouldn't put it past a guy. He wants to stay and live on in perpetuity. Well, the problem is, he screwed his name up a long time ago. He wanted to make sure that he's known by Donald Trump. You know, there used to be a different meaning for the name Trump. You're playing cards. You have a higher marking card or a lower marking card in a particular game that you're playing that would overpower the other person's hand, so to speak. Say, for example, that you've been playing war and you've got a jack of spades. The other person playing the war game has somehow got themselves a queen of spades, or a king of spades, or an ace of spades. And they use that. They trumped you. They overpowered you. They overmaxed your card. You have it too, regardless of whatever kind of suite it is. Some pulls out a 3 or a 4 or something higher. They trumped you. They overpowered your card. That word of trump, if I was playing in a card game, I probably would have to force myself to keep thinking along those ways because these days Trump means bullshit or zombie or something very derogatory because he's made his name derogatory. He's made his name and the reputation of whatever he used to have into garbage. And it no longer holds anything. I'm moving this thing because I'm shifting things around here. But this is what we're dealing with here. Trump has made his lineage, his family name, into the scrappiest thing ever. His grandfather and the ancestors before them were probably pissed off because there must have been a line of shysters or chiselers, schmucks, thieves, liars, and cheats and thieves. And at this point, they're telling people that they're telling the people their lies and bullshit. I suppose they're not in heaven, but probably in between or in hell at this point. Saying, you are going to be our golden boy. We have set you up on the wings of bullshit. And you crash and burned. You're like Icarus. You're going to fly to the sun and you're going to shine like crazy with us. You're going to do things. And what you do, you make your wings out of wax and feathers, and you got melted when you got higher and higher, and it got hotter and hotter. If it actually did happen during that time, he would have been suffocating for oxygen during that time. He would have. He would have. Gets closer and closer to the thin atmosphere of Earth, and he couldn't breathe. You think he can breathe out in outer space? Boy, would he be a fool and idiot. But he crashed into a bloodied mess and was a fool and idiot right in front of his father. So now we're dealing with a fool and idiot throwing people under buses left and right because he's got to be protected, and people still love him for it. Where's the loyalty to this? Why the loyalty to this asshole who's threatened everything? Threatened people's lives, changed people's lives for the worst, convincing people to bullshit because he still wanted to be in power and take over the Constitution of the United States, burn it to the ground, and put his own damn Constitution, and thinks he's going to be king forever. One party, one rule, one family, destroying democracy as everything else we knew. And he loved dictators a great deal. He thought he was going to be one of those. So this is the criminal mind at work. He wasn't looking to take care of people, only to take care of his own damn self. I danced a little bit in my chair. I hooted and hollered when I heard about the third indictment. I was hoping to hear more. I still am. I wanted to hear the hoot and hollering at this point over here. I wanted to hear the Trumplicans who called themselves the Grand Old Party at one time, but they're still Trumplicans. All of them. Who follow and obey his will in any which way. And they've been doing it for a hell of a long while. I wanted these assholes to shudder because the rule of law, the rule of the Constitution, imperfect as it is, still functions. It says the decency of the people who still live in this country of ours. Unfortunately, we still have the assholes out there still doing whatever they want to do. And we still have to take care of them one way or another through the rule of law. We're supposed to be the land of the law. We're supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. If we can't even demonstrate that, I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing for us anymore.